In the ever-changing world of business, an organization's success depends on constantly meeting new challenges and adapting to the marketplace. I'm Greg Gumbel. From e-commerce to investing, business strategies to human resources, join me as we take a closer look inside the workings of the modern global economy. Welcome to The Economic Report.
I was desperate. I didn't know what to do. My divorce just left me with tens of thousands of dollars in credit card debt, and I was having difficulty finding a job.
When Michelle Palmer first got her credit card at age 18, it seemed like a blessing. After her divorce, however, she couldn't afford even the minimum monthly payments. Unfortunately, her experience is a common one.
Currently, credit card debt in the United States is almost $1 trillion. Now, interestingly enough, credit card defaults are expected to reach $100 billion this year. Put that in perspective, that's 4 times what it was in 2007, twice what it was last year. While we expect the U.S. government to continue to support and bail out the banking institutions, we see no comparable relief being offered for the consumer.
185 million Americans have at least one credit card. Like Michelle Palmer, more than 1/3 of them cannot afford even the minimum payments required on their cards. Credit experts claim lack of regulatory control has contributed to the problem.
Credit card agreements are in essence devil's bargains because they allow the credit card company to unilaterally, arbitrarily change the terms and conditions, including the interest rate at any time for any reason. Credit card companies are not covered by state usury laws. So that means there's literally no legal limit on how high a credit card interest rate can go.
The situation is made even worse by debt collectors, who buy largely unrecoverable debt from banks for pennies on the dollar and squeeze consumers in an attempt to reap an enormous profit.
The debt collectors were calling all over my apartment complex, talking to my neighbors. They were telling them my name, saying they were looking for me, gave them even a case number. They made me appear to be some sort of felon. I was so incredibly embarrassed and mortified.
Rather than capitulate to debt collectors, Houston, Texas-based The Credit Card Solution has adopted an aggressive, proactive strategy.
We work with our clients to document violations of the FDCPA, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. These documented violations can form the basis of a federal lawsuit that can be filed against the debt collector. These lawsuits can result literally in the client's debt being zeroed out, the client being marked paid as agreed at the credit bureau, and that there's no tax liability, there's no negative tax consequences to the client.
There's no magic in this process. Litigation is always a complicated thing. Even the threat of litigation is. But what we've learned in my practice over years of doing this, the hundreds of cases that we've done, is on many, many occasions, more often than not, it's possible to completely eliminate the debt that that consumer has through a lawsuit under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act.
For most people, the process proves a better option than debt settlement, bankruptcy, or other commonly utilized forms of debt relief.
Debt settlement is a passive option that fundamentally proves unworkable for most people. And the changes in bankruptcy law have made it virtually impossible for people to discharge credit card debt in bankruptcy. Instead, they find themselves in a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, which frankly is designed to get them to pay not only everything they owe, but all accrued interest and fees as well.
The Credit Card Solution officials concede no strategy works for everyone and are quick to point out client participation in the process is the key. With troubling economic times ahead and the legacy of America's credit card debt still in tow, companies offering debt solutions will thrive in the coming years.
For the most part, the clients we work with all across the country are basically good people who have always been very conscientious about paying their bills. With the loss of a job, critical illness, business failure, death of a spouse, so many different things happen to people to put them in a position where they can no longer pay. The credit card companies themselves exacerbate the problem through excessive interest rate hikes and fee hikes. Our mission is to work within the laws of this nation to give every one of our clients an opportunity to rid themselves of this oppressive debt and reclaim their financial lives.